It sounds in the moonlight.
Hi, buddies.
Hi, friends.
Today, I don't know what I was getting ready to say, but welcome back to our podcast. Sorry for the week absence, the last week's absence. Why is that sounding weird to me?
It's absence. You're right.
Absence. It kind of sounded like I was trying to say that that drink.
Absinthe.
Yeah. But for those of you that, follow along on the social medias, know that I've been dealing with some stuff with Huron and work and all that. So I needed that time last week, especially with, the things that I found out about Huron. But anyways, I think that today's episode is really exciting based on
I
what
agree.
everything that's going on. So
Yeah.
before we get into it, let's pull a card. This one wants to stick right here, so I'm excited because these cards are like, I love these cards so much. They always hit. Always.
They do.
Divine timing. That's a cute little, he's like little hourglass with little legs. And I don't know if he's like trying to flick it.
Or
Anyways, it
catch it.
says everything is timing and timing is everything. Gladly I release my concern over timing and let things happen when and as they will. I trust that the divine schedule makers know what they're doing. It can take a long time to reach divine middle management. I kind of hate these cards. I'm just kidding. I absolutely love them because like it is, and it's so weird that that popped up for me anyways, just because like I have been feeling really down about a lot of things with like retirement, and I'm just like, I was just telling Chelsea like today or yesterday, I'm like, I just want the time to hurry up. Like I'm so sick of waiting, like I want to be done with the army and I want to be living my happy ever after, like not in New York. And so it's kind of weird that I pulled that card.
It's kind of weird for me too, because I was literally just having this conversation with my friend the other day. About she had asked me to help her with some tips on manifesting and stuff because she was having a hard time with it. And she's like, I'm saying all the things, but I'm not really feeling all the things. And I also told her, so, she was telling me some of like the affirmations and intention statements she was saying. And I told her, I said, well, something that might help is to not put a time limit on it because we are not the ones who dictate when things are supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And you just have to trust the process and know that it's already yours. It is coming to you, but it might not be tomorrow or the
Mhm.
next week or whatever the case may be. So, yeah, I kind of feel that too. And
Yeah.
and a little bit with my own self too. I've been kind of and maybe that's where that kind of heavy burden feeling that we were discussing before we came on. I don't really find great joy in like what I'm doing right now outside of like getting paid pretty good.
Yeah.
Um and I'd like to start taking the steps. So I feel a little bit like in a holding pattern, I guess.
Mhm.
And I feel like I have a lot of downtime and I would like to be using it in a more productive way. Um, and I just don't know what that is yet and kind of what direction to go in and whatever. So I just feel like I'm just kind of waiting.
Yeah, like it's a lot of waiting, and we know that like there's been a lot of shifts of energy lately with, we just had the full moon in Scorpio. Also we have the when this episode airs is going to be like the most powerful like manifestation day, 11/11. So hopefully you guys are doing all the things before you watch this episode because this episode is obviously airing later on in the evening, but do all the things for, embrace that power that's coming in.
And I think we just had a lunar eclipse.
Oh, yes, we did. We did just have a lunar eclipse as well. In fact, I
I didn't
think,
get to see it because it was been so cloudy and stormy here,
yeah,
but
I honestly, I had it messed up because I was thinking when I heard it was Tuesday, I was thinking like Tuesday evening, not
Hmm.
like early Tuesday morning, so I ended up missing it. And I think they said that this is like the last it was going to be the last like blood moon for a while. I think is what I read somewhere. Cuz it was a blood like it obviously lunar eclipse causes like a blood moon.
Yeah.
So like I think they said it's like the last one for a while, maybe. Maybe I read that wrong, I don't know.
Yeah, I thought they happened every 6 months,
I
but
thought so too, but I don't know. I might have to look more into that. So don't quote me on that, buddies. Anyways, what are we talking about today?
positivity and the power of it.
Yes, positivity and the power of it. And I feel like this couldn't have come at any more of a perfect time because like there's just so much going on, like with both of us, honestly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think everybody else is, especially those that are like spiritually connected, are feeling, we're still feeling that heaviness of like everything. And so I think that this is just good timing to talk about some positivity. And
Yeah. And well, and like we were just talking about with like seasonal depression.
yeah,
I know
yes.
this is always a really hard time of year for me because I like to be outside and it's not really a good time to just be outside in general either. We were just talking about the weather
Hmm.
and how like drastically it's changing. And, you know, I was at the gym this morning and I was like, all right, everybody, enjoy this last warm day because I think this is the last of it until spring. And but it's been raining all day, so it's like warm early on, and then it just keeps getting colder and colder, and now it's wet out, and there's not a lot of daylight hours, so it's really hard to be. I mean, it's really easy to be consumed, by kind of that shift in scheduling, uh, where you went from having till 9 o'clock at night to do something before the sun went down to now it goes down at like 5.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely and I think that might be a part of, like, what maybe I'm struggling with a little bit now too is
Hmm.
just, my horses are my therapy, and, um, now that we're out of daylight savings or we're in daylight
Isn't
savings now.
always I thought it was always called daylight savings time.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, did we go into it or we came out of it?
I think we're going into it. I think that's why
Yeah,
we
see?
shifted.
I'm
I think
terrible, I don't
I think
even know
I
how
don't
the
I don't know. All I know is spring forward and fall back. So
Right.
we went back an hour and now it's like dark time at 5, which is so confusing because before, so if we fell back an hour and it gets dark at 5, so originally it was just getting dark at 6, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like why like I wish they would just I know they've talked about it, but I really do wish they would
Allegedly,
just
it's
get rid of
happening in
daylight savings time.
2023.
What's that?
Allegedly, this is the last of it. We'll
Good.
spring out of this and then we're done.
Good, because I think daylight savings time is so stupid.
It
Like,
is
really
because my
stupid.
dogs are like, "It's time to eat," and I'm like, "Well, really, you
Yeah.
eat in an hour," but
Right. Well, the funny thing is because, like, Huron I was thinking, I was like, "Okay, good." Like, Huron, because Huron will always start, like, spinning, like, it's time to
Mhm.
eat around, like, 4:30. So I'm like, "Okay, good. I have, like, an extra hour, so he'll start spinning during that time." No, I was wrong. He starts spinning at, like, 3:30 now, and I'm just like, "Oh, no. No, 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 no,
Yep,
no. It's not
it's too
time.
early, yeah,
It's way too early."
yep. So, yeah, I think this will be a good episode to just it's gonna be I think and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this episode's just gonna be a lot of reminders about really what we've put out in past episodes of, yeah, how to live a spiritual life.
Mhm.
It's just gonna be really making sure that you're staying on task with, like, that mindset, and being aware of it and where
Mhm.
you are and checking in, and I think, whatever you do, journaling or blogging or whatever, just really writing those feelings down somewhere or, if you however you do it,
Yeah.
to just get them out and not stew on it, I think is a big thing, and especially, again, like we mentioned before, we're gonna be starting to spend a lot more time probably indoors due to the weather and things like that, so, on those days that you do have the time, making sure you do get outside um, and phone a friend, I know my husband's going through something, with some of his friends, who are feeling the heaviness of, life. and and they phoned a friend and reached out. So remember that others are going through that too, and try to be that kind of beacon of light, um, and be patient.
I I love that. I absolutely love that. And I know that sometimes it's hard to be like that beacon of light, for others, especially like when you're in it, going through it too. So,
Hmm.
I mean, you can look to others to like just be each other's beacon of light.
Yeah. And something that I feel like this season affords a lot more time for is like meditation. Because that kind of hustle and bustle, like I said, of like out external activities, um, kind of starts to slow around this time of the year. So it's a good opportunity to just connect with yourself and work on some of those things that you've been. I know, like I said, meditation is something that I've been really trying to make more space for. And but I'm always like, the sun, I gotta, do this, do that. And then you're tired. And if I tried to meditate, I'd probably just fall asleep. So, you know, it's an opportunity to kind of maybe shift focus onto some of those things that we maybe haven't been taking the time to do. I know the new eclipse, the lunar eclipse that we just had, a lot of that energy was about like cleaning. Right?
Hmm.
So finally getting rid of that stuff you said that you were gonna get rid of, taking that time to go through the papers and, declutter your life a little bit. So again, turning that downtime into a more constructive time, doing something else, um, I think would be a good time for this. That's where
Yeah,
my head's
that's
going.
I mean, honestly, that's like a really good idea because, like, not that I go out a lot anyways, because I'm just a,
Same.
a homebody. I mean, I just spent almost 20 days of like, I'm getting ready to finish up my 20 days of leave and I didn't do shit. But that's kind of Huron's fault. I was supposed to be in Florida this week, but anyways, yeah, I don't really do much anyways. So I think that, once like now that I'm back in a workout routine and then I got to throw work back into the mix next week, and I think that's going to be a good time to start like decluttering, especially if whenever I do get to retire, get rid of some stuff. So maybe I'll just start, get up in the attic and, one weekend do a box a weekend or something and
Yeah,
be a little bit more productive.
yeah.
I like it.
And also just taking that time to maybe relax. That's like super key too.
Hmm.
And not beating yourself up about it. Because I know we've talked about this before, and that inner voice and, the ego, and, you're laying around. Like I told you on Sunday, I wound up having an opportunity to stay home, and I picked up some crochet stuff from the basement and started a project and was just kind of hanging out. And one part of me was like, hey, this is really nice, and this is what we needed. Like, this was the whole point of staying in, and was that we kept saying that, like, I just need time to just not be going Mach 90 through the day. But then there's also that other part of me is like, there's so many things we could be doing right now, and you're just sitting here,
Yeah.
you know? So, and it goes back to um, being in the moment. So that's something that I've really been focusing on lately too, which I think really helps with being positive and staying positive, because sometimes our positivity gets dimmed or lessened because we're stressed, right?
Mhm.
So little things like this morning I came in and my husband really just needed um some of my time, right? To talk about the things that he's been going through. And um but I was running a little bit late. And, I initially was sitting there and I was trying to listen, but my mind's like, we don't have time for this. We are already late. Like, we need to go. We need to, XYZ. And then I just put the brakes on it and I was like, this is where I'm needed right now. And this is important. And everything else doesn't matter. It'll get done when it gets done. And I need to be in this moment now. And it did. It allowed me to focus on the task at hand, if you will, which lightens that load a little bit.
Mhm.
and then it makes it like not a big deal. It's fine. And allows us to be positive about it. And, then I could be there for him, and then I wasn't stressing myself out, and I wasn't putting myself in a bad mood, and I think that that's a key thing too, kind of with this, going back to the season. Weather is going to be a deterrent, and traffic's going to slow, and things are just going to kind of slow down, and we just have to remember to just be where we are in that moment, and relish that moment, and take that time to look around and be admirable of your surroundings, and reflect on the things that you are really lucky to have, and express that gratitude, and um start dialing it all kind of back in a little bit.
That's really awesome. I'm like super proud of you, buddy. So how much time went through did you process that to like be there for your
Oh,
husband?
like
That's
milliseconds.
so awesome.
But it was like it get old habits,
Yeah.
and the more you become aware of what you're doing, the easier it is to stop doing it. And because I caught myself at like not really paying attention,
Mhm.
you know, and I'm like, well, that's not fair because I mismanaged my time, but like I also didn't know, some of the things that he was going through either. And it all worked out, you
That's
know.
good.
I got to work a little later than I normally do, but wasn't nobody really there anyway, so
Yeah. Who cares? And who cares? Like who cares?
and honestly, like I said, that time was more important, and, he even, called me later and said, "Hey, I really appreciate you taking the time to, be there for me this morning," and, so that is kind of like a booster of, positive feelings,
Mhm.
and I think, that's key for me a lot of the time is that my mind is always like 1,000 steps into the future, and it takes away from what we're doing, and it does cause stress,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely more like living in the now. I mean, I think we're all guilty of it because, we live in this high-paced society that like everything's now, 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 and then we got to think about what's next. And it's like we're
Mhm,
not really living in the now. Like,
mhm,
definitely take the time to slow down and enjoy. Like, even with the weather, you can find like some positivity because, like, as much as I hate the cold, I love when it snows. I just love how it looks
yeah.
initially, not like after it starts getting all sludgy and dirty and gross, but like
Yeah,
initially, like I love how it looks. So, like, you got to find the positivity. And I think that's like, I think the big takeaway for this episode is being able to find the positivity in things and reframing. I think that's a huge one to make
mhm,
things, more manageable. You might have a bad day at work, and I think we've talked about this on the show before, where you just when you reflect on your day, reframe it.
mhm,
You can either put a positive spin on it or change the story completely. And I know people probably think that's crazy, but like say you're at work and you get into it with a coworker, and that's not how the conversation should have went. You lost your temper or something,
mhm,
and then you're feeling really bad about it later on and you're reflecting. Change it. As you think about what happened, make it into something more, I don't want to say, I guess, kind of more positive, like change how the conversation went to put yourself in that better mindset. So then you can maybe readdress it the next day and be like, hey, you know what, coworker, I was completely out of line. I do apologize. My words, I didn't, articulate my words appropriately or something, but it gives you a chance to, give yourself a little bit of grace
mhm.
on, things. So, I'm a big fan of reframing and sometimes retelling stories. I don't retell stories too much because it makes you sound like a crazy person. Because like, but I'm a huge fan of like reframing things. Like I was supposed to be in Florida this week. I'm pretty sure they're getting hit with another hurricane. I think I
Mhm.
heard that. So
Yeah,
obviously I
it
was.
turned it turned into a tropical storm, but yeah, they
Yeah.
evacuated some people and
I don't know if it where exactly it hit in Florida. I haven't really been paying too much attention to it, but you know, I try to put a more positive spin on it, like, okay, well, I was meant to go on leave the time that I went because obviously Huron needed me.
Yeah.
I don't know if things would have played out if I was at work. I don't know if things would have played out
Yeah.
the same way. So obviously I was meant to like be off during this time. I was not meant to go back home to Ohio, and I was not meant to go down to Florida. I was just meant to sit here. I got back into a good workout routine, which I'm really proud of myself. Even though it's only been like a week, I'm still like, I'm still really proud of myself that I'm being more consistent. I'm eating clean, like clean ish. Like, I'm doing really good things and refocusing on this time off that I have, even though I haven't gone out and done anything. I'm just, put that positive spin. Like, I'm here. I'm spending the time with my dogs, especially with Huron, because I don't know how much time I have left with them. So like, that's the way I'm spinning it. I'm not sitting here like not doing jack shit. Even though I was really bored today and I was doing some weird shit. Like I was saying before we went, hit record, that if there was cameras around my house, people would think, I mean, people probably already think I'm a weirdo, but like you guys would really think I'm weird because like I'm literally like, if I could demonstrate the dancing that I do, like I don't think I could do it if I tried, but I just randomly would start dancing, like staring at the dogs, and they're just kind of like, "The fuck you doing?" But I'm just having a good time with my dog, so
Yeah. And that's great. And
yeah,
like you said, that's exactly where you needed to be.
yeah,
And I think that yeah, kind of just meddling in my own thoughts here because, take your own advice. Um, and like you said, reframing the situation. So, I get really awful this time of year because I'm very limited to what I can do outside as far as writing and things like that. And but I did buy some new books recently about some self-care stuff. It has like some little rituals. I almost brought it in here with me so I could like show everybody, but I was like, nah, it's not really relevant. And here we are talking about it anyway.
yeah,
So, I had bought some books, so now I have the time to sit down and read them and uh, just start doing some of those things to just reset myself a little bit because I do. I feel like I've just kind of, I don't want to say disconnected because I do still feel connected, but I do feel, I guess heavy would be the way to. I actually was sitting out on a front porch the other day and I was attempting to do meditation, and I did literally feel like someone was sitting on my chest. Like I felt like a physical heaviness, like when I would take a deep breath, like my lungs were expanding, but it's like if someone was sitting on your chest, and
hmm
I found that kind of odd and kind of sat in that for a little bit to see where maybe I thought that was coming from. But I have an appointment with Lori tomorrow to work on the sacral chakra, and I'm really excited about it. Um, because I think that's going to help me um, with some things that subconsciously are weighing on me, or whatever. She even said in our last session that this was probably going to be a big one for me, so I'm
yeah,
curious to see. So again, looking forward to something. I've been really looking forward to this weekend. Um, so yeah, just trying to find, and as things change and may not work out the way that we had thought they would, like your trip and stuff like that, finding the reason, I guess, or the more positive side of why you are where you are at that moment. And like you had said before, living in the now, and just um like you said, with everything that's going on with you, it's actually been really good that you've been home because like you said, how would you be managing and juggling it all?
yeah,
So it really kind of was a blessing because it took a lot of that stress off of you and you could just focus on, what you needed to do at home. So I think that that's just what we have to do, is just find something else to do.
yeah. Pretty much. I definitely discovered during this time off that the more that I'm managing my stress in like a more positive way, my stress manifests in different ways. Like I have
Mm,
learned that. So like before I was having like the symptoms of like the dizziness and lightheadedness and all that stuff, and I got a handle of that. And now then it switched to I have to go to sleep. Like I'll just randomly like clunk out for like 2 hours because I'm like so overwhelmed with stress. And now I kind of feel that heaviness, and I'm seasonal depression. I'm just gonna keep saying it's seasonal depression. But like I like today, normally I get up, have a cup of coffee, and then I'll eat, I'll come play video games for a little bit, and then go work out. Like that's been my routine, most of the time, and or at least this week. But today I was like, I don't even want to play. I didn't even turn my computer on until I came up here. So I've been just downstairs like watching CSI, or I caught up on Grey's Anatomy, and Jersey Shore's back on Hulu, so I'm super excited about that. And then I've been working on my diamond dots, which I'm gonna have to order some more because after this one I only have one left. So work, just trying to do different things that like are fulfilling, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
within the space that I have, because I
Yeah.
don't want to go anywhere. Like, um, obviously, like I have freedom, I can do whatever I want, kind of within reason with the army, whatever. But I don't want to go anywhere with the things with Huron going on. Like I told you earlier, I don't even want to go to work next week because like that'll be the longest I've been away from them for a month, and I'm like it stresses me out in a different way. So I just have to put a positive spin on it and figure out, how to deal with it and reframe things.
Yeah. Because when we do hold on to those negative emotions or stress like that, it does present in the body in a physical way.
Hmm.
And so it's good to take that time to evaluate and see where you're at, and then find ways to either reframe it or process it. Uh, because it's good, like going back to work, it does suck in one way, but in another way, it might be good for you to get some social interaction with human beings. And uh
Yeah. Well, like face to face socialization, but
yeah, yeah,
kind of. I don't know. Like they're about to bring the petty out in me. Straight up. Like I called my mentor called me the other day, and I told him what was going on, and I was like, they're about to bring the petty out of me. And that's not a good thing.
yeah.
Like,
So
oh
I
my
would just
gosh.
take this nice long relaxing weekend to think about some ways to manage that, and how to look at it in a factual standpoint, and less emotionally, and
Mhm.
less personally. And um, so that way you can handle it better, and be in a more positive mindset
Yeah.
when you go to have those conversations and deal with those things. So I hope everyone else is getting a nice long relaxing holiday weekend this weekend. Um because we are going to have a lot of stressors coming up, Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
travel, holidays, all of it. So um try that meditation channel, listen to some frequency music, um practice that self-love, whatever that is for you. Um Journaling and talking with friends, and it's okay to vent,
Mhm.
but in that venting session, maybe try to process those things, and catch it yourself. you know oh gosh, wow, that came out really really negative. How can I view this in a different way?
Mhm.
Or um how can I maybe go and do something that will make me again, practicing that self-love to kind of take a little bit of that. um Really, it's just a lot of it's stress,
Yeah.
and worrying about things that we really have no control over, um, and finding that balance.
Right. I will say though that if it does become too heavy and you can't manage it on your own, especially with the holidays coming up, please talk to somebody. If like you don't have anyone like immediately around you, there are definitely resources out there to, assist if things get too heavy. And hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. And, not that we're professionals, but, we can always help point you in the right direction, or, um, help you in any way that we can. Um, and watch for those signs from the universe. We've talked about that several times where, you'll have a thought or a feeling or whatever, and you might see an animal or a number or anything, and a lot of the time that's a hey, we're still here.
Yeah.
you know things are still good. You're fine, you know? And it's nice to receive those uh what do you want to call that? Not validations, but just check-ins from the universe
Yeah.
that, you're not alone and, things are just different.
Hmm.
And different isn't always a bad thing.
Yeah. And just definitely do not consume yourself with the negativity. Like you always want to try to be positive. I don't remember if we've talked about this or not, about that Japanese doctor that did the study on the water. Have we talked about that on this
I don't think so.
show? So I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head. I really should have written it down before the episode. But there's his name, like, I'm not even gonna try it. Anyways, he did this study on ice where he would, or well, water that was getting frozen or whatever, and he would, the first time around, would um expose it to like different positive like frequencies, music, all kinds of different, sounds, and study how the ice looked under a microscope. I don't know what's on my hand, sorry, ADHD's kicking in, right? What is that? Anyways, when, and then you can look it up, because like the ice formations that are formed when it was exposed to like the, not, the music that it was introduced to was like classical music, and then frequencies, and I think they even did where people were saying like positive things to the water as it's like freezing or whatnot, and the ice formations are just like beautiful, like the way it looks under the microscope. And then he does the experiment again, but this time he exposes it to like negative energies, like hard rock music. Not saying that if you listen to hard rock, not saying that it's negative, but like it's just showing that how like different frequencies and energies literally change your molecular makeup. So like when they looked at the negative ice under microscope, it was like splats. So like
Not formed and
not formed, and just keep that in mind. Again, not judging. Obviously, you guys know I listen to rap all the time, but I've also started listening to a little bit more classical music to kind of expose myself to more positive energy. Obviously, we have frequencies out there, and just remember that the more you're around like negativity, it literally does change like your molecular makeup, and you just look like, I don't know
like a
how
splat.
like a splat. You're just a splat. Don't be a splat. I just heard that. Was that thunder or was that
It
wind?
shook my whole floor.
Do you have a tornado warning?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just a bad thunderstorm, but that shook my whole
So
floor.
that
Like I
so that
felt it
was
through the chair.
that was thunder, not wind.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my god. Oh my
yeah.
god.
It
Buddy,
was
stay
crazy.
safe.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Kansas weather ain't nothing to fuck with. Like straight
I'm
up.
telling you what, the other day it was like 60 degrees in the morning, and by like, I don't know, an hour or two later, it had dropped like 30 degrees. It was crazy.
Oh my god.
And I'm just like, so weird. It's
I
so weird.
I
They
do
say the
not.
saying around here is if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes and it'll change.
I feel like they do that saying in a lot of places, like Missouri and Ohio. We've had that same saying, but like Kansas weather, like I do not miss living there. I remember the first winter I was there, and we got hit with a really bad like ice storm, and I'm like,
Mhm.
what's an ice storm? Like, is it sleet? No, it's when it rains and then like it instantly turns into ice. So like we had power lines falling down, like the roads were, you couldn't drive on the roads, like everything was iced over. It was craziness. Oh my god.
But you know what? So we were talking about that today, and someone was like talking about how they love the snow, and I'm all like, blah, the snow. Like, all I could think about was like how hard it makes my life. But I was like, the one good thing about when it snows or ice storms is I don't have to go into the office. I could just work from home, sit in front of my fireplace, and enjoy it until they clean the roads.
But like we didn't really do that here last year, cuz I remember like we got hit with one bad snowstorm, and I was
Mhm.
kind of like, I was actually really surprised, cuz like I thought like New York got hit with like really bad snow. But we got hit with that one bad snowstorm where it was like halfway up my car. And I
Mhm.
don't think we ever got a phone call, but I think I ended up missing work that day anyways, cuz I was sick, so I never went. But like, I don't know. I guess it'll be
Yeah,
interesting to.
it's crazy because I know, like, in that area, they go off of what Fort Dix says, which I don't think is fair. So if Fort
No.
Dix closes, we're closed. But Fort Dix is in a whole nother state.
Right. And
Like
not
the
only
weather
that,
changes from county to county. Like,
well, I was gonna say it's different. Like where I'm at on Long Island, the weather is completely different than where work is. So
yeah,
like when I was like, yeah, because I think I even said it, like, yeah, I got hit with like a bunch of snow. They're like, really? I'm like, did you not? Like,
right. That's
you're
what I'm
only
saying. So
45 minutes away. So I don't know. It'll be really interesting. We'll save that for another conversation. But
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, so again, that's just an example of how to like not be so, and because like you said, snow is very pretty. It's just when it becomes cumbersome, and I
Mhm.
just not a big fan of being cold.
Yeah. Definitely not a
But
big fan of being cold at all. I would
I'm
really.
trying really hard to just not let it stop me. Again, I was so excited for this weekend. I've been so looking forward to it. And I looked at the weather and like, because again, it's been like 70, 60, 70 degrees outside, pretty mild, nice. And I look at the weather for this weekend and it's going to be like maybe 40 if I'm lucky. And I have a project scheduled for this weekend. And so, that's outside. And so at first I was like, this is bullshit. You couldn't hold out just one more freaking weekend. But then I was like, it's really not that bad. It's supposed to be beautiful as far as like no rain, the sun is supposed to be out. And really, I think that's just what makes me feel good is when the sun is out,
Yeah.
and I just might have to take breaks and come in and warm up every
Yeah.
so often.
Get
So,
get yourself some hand warmers.
I have a whole box.
Listen, I should have been a sponsor of like hand warmers while I was in Fort Campbell because like whenever we go to the field, did I lose my internet?
No, I can
Oh,
still hear
okay.
you.
When we'd go to the field like in the wintertime, I had the body size ones, so I put them on my front, my back. I had hand warmers in my pockets. I had hand warmers everywhere, and then I had the ones that actually stick to your hands, stick to your feet. Like I had them everywhere because I don't like the cold, but it's like I gotta be out here, so I'm just gonna make the best of it.
I do get to pull out my heated vest, though. I love that thing. That thing is
I
super
need
dope.
I need to invest in a vest.
I just hope that I left the little chargy box thing with the vest because that's gonna stink. I'll have to go dig that out and find
Yeah.
it and make sure I have all the pieces because it like works off of a battery pack,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm fairly certain I put it in there. But part of me thinks that I was like, that could be a possibly a fire hazard. So
Oh no. Well,
I'll
hopefully
keep you posted.
hopefully it's close. So will you be able to ride the horses this weekend?
I'm hoping. I'm hoping there's time. I have some stuff I have to do. That's what we're actually doing is reinforcing, slightly modifying the outbuilding that I have so that they have a shelter because the summertime is over and the no shelter season is over. So I actually just wound up having to go out and put blankets on them, which was a funny story because I've been having a little bit of a hard time finding a blanket to fit the pony because apparently he's like a weird size. And because he's not a mini, but he's not a pony. And I had bought a blanket from a lady on Facebook and I bought 2 of them because sometimes they get ripped or whatever, and she was selling them for $25 a blanket, which is super cheap. They were too small. So, that was a 48-inch blanket, and luckily, I think talked about this in another episode, she actually wound up buying them back from me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because that's, like, really not heard of on Facebook Marketplace, but, so I went and I ordered another one at a size 50 because when I put it on him, it didn't seem like it was off by that much. So I went to a 50. It came in. Nope, his whole butt's hanging out. It's not quite big enough around the chest. I'm like, dang. And so I stopped by a store and they actually have a really good selection of small horse blankets. But the full blankets that they had, which are baby horses, that's usually what I get in, they weren't big enough. they didn't have anything beyond a 50. So he's like, we'll have to go into pony size blankets. And I was like, my fear is that by the time I get it long enough to cover him from, chest to tail, it's going to be too long top to bottom.
Mhm.
And yeah, I put it on him today and it's hilarious. He has no legs.
You
He
gotta
looks
send
like
me a
he's
picture.
I'll have to see if it's still on him in the morning. But the next size down, again, I was like, they come in 3-inch increments.
Mhm.
And so I wasn't sure if that was going to be enough. So it went from 50 to 53, which then is weird because then it goes 57. So it's not consistent. I don't know. But yeah, something like that. So I wasn't sure that 3 inches was going to be enough. So I went the 7 inches and it fits him really nice lengthwise. I think
Mhm.
it's just like from front to back. It's just that top to bottom it comes below his knees and like he only has like this much leg hanging at the bottom.
Is it like footy pajamas? Like they gotta put their legs in it?
No, it's like a cloak would be the
Like a
best way to describe
So
it.
like
So
kind of like a thunder shirt for dogs?
except for not as tight. It's real loose.
You can't
It's literally like throwing a blanket over them.
uh-huh.
And then it just has some straps, a buckle in the front and some straps that go underneath their belly and around their legs that just keep it from coming off. But
Hmm.
I'll send you a picture.
Yeah, because I'm like I'm
But
trying to imagine like could you not like pin it to make it a little bit more snug?
yeah, I mean you could suck it up, but the whole point is to not, because then I think they might get too hot. But also they have to be able to move and run around and
Yeah.
roll, and if it's too tight, it'll just rip. So Um, plus they won't be able to move because it goes over their back and around their legs. I'll send you a picture.
Yeah.
But um I snugged it up as best I could without it becoming restrictive because again, because it's so long, um, it would be like wearing a pencil skirt. And he would just be like,
You act like I know what a pencil skirt is.
it's like a really tight formed skirt. I, anyway, it's very hard to walk in, okay? So
Gotcha.
that was my little positivity today. It was very comical.
Yeah, it sounds
Uh,
funny.
yeah,
My
but
my positivity today is I lifted equivalent to 30 turkeys for my workout today. I skipped abs because I was just drained. Like I feel bad that I skipped abs because I've been doing really well like this whole week, but it was
Mhm.
legs day. I switched legs day back to Thursday because I realized that I hate legs so much that like it doesn't work to put it on Monday because then I skip it and then I'm just like well, I skipped Monday, so I can't work out this week. So it like I
Yeah,
make up
right.
those lame excuses. So now like I switched it back and I'm doing like my 5x5 workouts, which actually feels like really good. I'm getting that feel good sore again. So um yeah, that's my positivity today was I lifted equivalent to 30 turkeys. So for if you guys use JE Fit, like I don't know if you've used the app yet or not, but like
Mm-mm.
during the holidays, it'll like at the end of your workout when you log your workout, it'll say like you lifted X amount of pounds, which is equivalent to this. And like during the holidays, they always have it like for like Christmas, it's like Christmas trees or snowmen, and then Thanksgiving is turkeys. It makes it really fun. So that's why I
Yeah,
keep saying
I
like
love that.
equivalent to
I
30
love that.
turkeys.
We actually did a. I'm terrible because I wasn't paying attention to like what the organization is, but their like slogan is hashtag burpees suck. And it's an organization that tries to assist veterans
Mm-hmm.
with either transitioning to civilian life or transitioning from mobilization or whatever those kind of big, you know, life changing moments are, and building community through fitness based stuff. So, like, CrossFit is like a big community. Anyway, so today was Chalk Up for Veterans, and we had to do like a bunch of burpees. It was
I hate
7 minutes of
I
burpees.
hate burpees
But we
so
made a
much.
sign that they took over to the VA hospital, and that we wrote like a statement or whatever on the mats of the gym in chalk, and then there's like a bunch of chalky handprints where you
Aw.
get down and do your burpees. I thought it was really cool, and Um, anyway, so it was kind of a neat community based thing to do, you know. So I thought that was really cool for me today,
Yeah,
even
that's
though I
cool.
was really not liking those
I
burpees.
hate burpees so much. Like
Like when
whoever
I
invented burpees, I really want to punch in the face. And I know this is an episode about positivity, but I hate burpees so much.
but I think we hate them because they are like a full body workout,
Yeah.
and I was definitely smoked. So it was 7 minutes of burpees. And I'm sorry. And I was sweating and I was dying, but it felt good when it was done.
Yeah.
I did like 63 burpees in 7 minutes, which
Ugh.
is not really a lot. Other people were doing like hundreds, but
That's still a lot. I don't care how
I was
much.
smoked.
I don't
I
care
was
if it was
smoked.
7 hours. Like
And
63 is a
they're
lot.
like, just keep a steady pace. Try to not, rest too long. And I was like, my legs are breaking up. So when I signed the poster, my sweat is also on there. So you're welcome.
Yeah. Nice. Fuck
But it was a
burpees.
great class. And actually, see, it worked out because I like it when the classes are small. And they always post the workouts the day before. And it seems that a lot of people looked at that workout and were like,
Nay, I shall not.
yes, nay, I shall not, because there was 3 people, and I was one of them.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was me and 2
Well,
other
good for
people.
you, buddy. That's
I
awesome.
don't look at the workouts because I know better.
Yeah, I mean that's awesome too. Like
I feel
I
really
don't
great when I'm done.
yeah.
So it doesn't matter what you do to me while I'm in there
Yeah, I was gonna say
because
I don't think I would look out at the workouts either because I would definitely be like, nah, no, thank you.
yeah, and that's actually what one of the instructors said is that some people, they cherry pick.
Hmm.
And so they'll look at the workout and be like, "Yeah, no," like, kinda like you, no, not legs on Monday,
Yeah,
not doing that."
yeah.
Um, but I'm just trying to, stick with it, and I really do like it, and, um, it was a good class. It afforded me the opportunity to get a little bit of more, like, one-on-one kinda training with the instructor because the other 2 people that are there are, like the one girl, she's a Paralympic, um, she's, hearing impaired, so she is on a, deaf volleyball league with the Olympics, and,
Wow.
yeah, she's super fit, like, I wanna be like her when I grow up. And then the other guy, he's an older gentleman, but also super fit, so they don't really need a lot of help. Um, oh, also, positive thing, there was actually weights on my bar today.
Hell yeah.
So, normally over the last few workouts, I've been struggling with, like, really the form and technique,
Hmm.
and so I was really trying to, like, muscle the bar up rather than use, like, momentum and stuff, and so whenever I would try to, like, lift the bar to here or even over my head, I was like, "I can't." My wrists are like little fucking paper doll wrists, and I, like, physically couldn't do it. And so, today I added 30 pounds to my bar.
Nice. So much. See,
Yeah.
so much positivity, buddy.
And, then the guy at the end was like, "Dude, you looked solid." He's like, "You looked really solid. It looked really strong. The form was good." And he was like, "And you're super coachable."
Hell
And I was like,
yeah.
"I don't know how I wanna take that." But I was like, "I guess good." But he's like, "I can tell you, fix your hand," and you'll be like, "Oh, yeah, I see that." And then he's like, "It's not a problem anymore." And
Yeah.
he's like, "So you'll progress pretty quickly." And I'm like,
Yeah. I
"That's
was gonna
so
say
cool."
that's a super compliment because a lot of people, especially like, because I guarantee, like, if I went into CrossFit, because I'm so used to working out the way that I work out, if they're like, point your foot inwards, I'm gonna be like, no, that's not comfortable and that's not what I do. Like, I'm gonna fight it every
Right.
step of the way. So
Yeah.
being coachable is definitely a super positive. So many positives, buddy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm super
So it
happy
was a
for
pretty
you.
good day. Oh, and the FRG in our building hosted a free Thanksgiving lunch today. So we
Nice.
had turkey and mashed potatoes and stuffing and pie. I ate way too much.
I'm a little jealous.
Overindulged a little bit. Like I was good and full when I was done eating the meal, but then I was like, pie, there's pie. You don't turn down
But
pie.
hey, it's
Because if you
okay. You're
If
allowed
you've
to.
never had a Costco apple pie, it's the best apple pie that you could buy that's like store bought, in my opinion.
I would not know. I don't eat a lot of sweets. Like I do, but I don't. Like I have my
Yeah, I
little
don't
spurt.
really
Like I
either,
have
but like,
spurts. I have spurts, but I'm definitely not like a pie expert that's like you go to Costco, they have the best apple pie, but if you go to Kroger, they have the best pumpkin pie. I don't know pie like that.
it's amazing and you should try it.
I might have to do that. I don't know what they have planned at work as far as with the holidays coming up. I think we have battle assembly next weekend. But yeah. So what is the biggest thing that you're looking forward to this weekend with it being a long weekend for you?
Um, really just being able to do whatever I want is the best way I can explain it. I do have a little bit of an action-packed weekend. So really it's an action-packed day,
Mhm.
but I have a feeling because the sun goes down so quickly, we're going to wind up being a multi-day project. But my horses need a shelter, and so I'm super excited about getting that done and kind of off my list of things to do. So that would probably be number one.
That's
And I'm
awesome.
going to go spend some time with my grandpa. We're going to go pick up hay on Saturday.
Oh yeah.
So that's always fun.
Yeah, just make sure you take some time for yourself this weekend to just kind of decompress and maybe lift
Yeah,
up
so
some
I
of that
kind of feel
heaviness.
like Friday and Saturday are going to be pretty busy days.
Hmm.
But tomorrow I don't really have anything going on. We're going to go to the gym, and then there's some things that I would like to do, but I don't necessarily like have a time limit or anything. So I think Saturday's the really only day that's going to be kind of aggressive as far as like, I don't want to call it have to stuff, but I'm out of hay. So I have to go get
Yep.
hay.
So you kind of
uh
have to.
yeah. Uh but everything else is like, stuff that I want to do. And then I figure, again, going back to the fact that the day gets dark, shut off so quickly. It leaves you several hours in the evening to, you know, just put on your sweatpants and, finish a crochet project or read that book or watch a
Yeah.
movie or so I think it's a good opportunity to find like a little balance because you're kind of forced to.
Yeah, definitely. I had the funniest image when you said like when the daylight gets shut off. It's like God's up there. God's up there like and off. It's time to go to
uh
bed.
have you watched the way the sun goes down?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because like I'm just sitting there like was it daylight when I came up here? No, it wasn't. Like it was daylight when I went into the garage to work out. And then when I came out, it was dark. And I'm like, well, okay. I guess I better feed the dogs because it's dark
Yep.
time now.
Yep. And that's how it goes because it'll be like daylight, dusk for about 30 seconds,
Yep.
and then the sun is gone.
Boom. Gone.
It's like
Craziness.
someone shut the lights out.
Yep. God's up there. He's like,
Um,
East Coast, out. All right.
yep.
Central, out. Mountain time,
Walking
out.
walking through the house, turning
Yeah.
all the lights off. What about you? What are you looking forward to this weekend?
Well, I'm gonna go to a wedding this weekend. It was kind of a
Ooh,
last minute thing, so tomorrow I'm gonna go get a card and maybe put some monies in it. I don't like doing that, but like I guess they're not registered anywhere, and so they didn't really want anything, but I don't want to come empty-handed. So I'm gonna go crash this wedding on Saturday. And then Sunday. We started doing movie nights on Discord. We've been doing that for about a month now, I think.
ooh,
So
fun.
yeah, we're gonna have movie night on Sunday, and then I'm gonna just chill out on Monday and prepare myself to going back to work on Tuesday. Try to put myself in the right mindset.
I think it'll be fine.
I'm very angry. Like that's why I'm dreading it. It's not that like it's not going to work. Like yeah, it'll be cool to like see the people that I typically talk to, kind of like because me, I'm so fucking antisocial. But like it'll be nice to catch up with some of them. But at the same time, like I know how angry I am inside, and I don't want to be that person, but they're bringing it out of me. I just want to retire. That's it. I don't think that's much to ask. 19 years service. Just let me retire right at 20 and like we'll be good. But we'll see what happens.
Well, again, it's just kind of processing that. And, what it sounds like to me is you need to go reread that card we read in the beginning. And you have timelines in your mind.
I know, but and see that's the thing that I struggle with a lot. Like that was one thing that Hallie. I don't want to say she got on to me about, but like kind of tried to remind me the same thing that you're saying. Like I understand. Chelsea says it to me too. Like things will happen when they happen. Like everybody says it to me, and like I understand that. However, there are certain things in life that they have to be done. Like I can't wait until
Absolutely. I
like
get
I
that.
can't wait until July for them to sign my retirement packet, because if I don't do this internship, well then July is when I'll be starting terminal leave. So
Yeah.
I do firmly believe that everything happens for a reason. I'm not going to get too much into it here. I'll talk to you more about it when we end the episode as to why I think the things are playing out the way that they're playing out. So everything happens for a reason. So I got to stop
does.
being angry about it, but it's just
You
really
do.
frustrating. I'm so
It
frustrated.
is. And again, it's just, it seems personal. I
Yeah.
don't think that it is. And I'm just saying that it might help move things along. If you can take the next couple of days to just work through those feelings
Yeah.
and
I mean,
find that
I
positive
don't think it's
reframe.
personal. I really don't think it's personal at all. I just think that it's just the way a certain individual is, for whatever reason. Like I don't think it's like she pointed me out and said no. Like I think if anybody else was in this position, it would have been the same thing, because I just think that's how that individual is.
Yeah. But I just know, like, for me, I get, like, defensive about things when, like, I know I'm right and, um, I don't understand why you're making it so hard, or, those types
Yeah.
of feelings.
Yeah.
Um, but that's what I was saying, like, we gotta take our own advice and find the way to, like, reframe that in the sense of maybe we're running into these kind of roadblocks, one, because it's an opportunity, it's a lesson,
Mhm.
to, uh, navigate those waters in a better way than we maybe would have, before, but also, uh, maybe it's the universe saying, "Not now," you
Yeah.
know? And as frustrating as that can be, because it's like, well, why the not?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
it's this or something better. And so sometimes we don't get what we think we want
Mhm.
because there's something better in the
Yeah.
cards for us.
Which
Um,
that's what I really think it is. Like I keep as angry as I am, I do like keep myself calm, because I am reminding myself that, it is something better, and I think I know exactly what it is. So
and it's hard at this stage, because like you were saying earlier, where you wanted the time to just fast forward, because I think you are a little bit excited about what's next for you. And I know I am. Look at me. I'm super excited. I have 4 days of just whatever I want to
hell
do,
yeah.
right? And so when you think about having the rest of your life to live like that, it's hard to get through what you're going through now, because you're already kind of living in that end,
Yeah.
because you're looking so forward to it that it's like, okay, can we just skip to the good part?
Yeah, straight up.
Um, and so we have to just remind ourselves that there is some time left here, and we do really need to make the best of it, because otherwise it's just going to be a really long few months.
Yeah.
And so yes, I don't agree with the delays that are being imposed on you right now, because I feel like it's from a lack of knowledge
Mhm.
about the situation. Um, but it's not to say that it won't wind up working out in a
Right.
way that is gonna be like, "You know what?
I think I
I'm good
would
with
feel
that."
better if they would at least provide me with a justification.
Right.
Like I
Yeah,
think I would feel a lot better. Like, okay, this is the reason why, or you need to fix this before, you know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
some sort of a
Give me the
solution.
steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right
I
now,
think
I'm
I
just
would
in
feel a lot
limbo.
better. Yeah, I'm 100% just floating in the wind, and I don't like it up here hanging out in the wind.
Yeah,
It's a little
it's
cold.
frustrating. Yeah. Yeah, and frustrating because, again, it's like, well, I could be doing all of these other things, and again, it goes back to that, like, we just have to live in the now, and we just have to kind of take it for what it is and find the ways to make it work for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I've got to take that advice. I got to take that advice.
So I think you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It is. We talk about this all the time. It's not easy, because our minds and our bodies are, designed to protect us, you know what I mean? And so I kind of lost my train of thought there. I'm not gonna lie. I had a whole thing. And it was
It's,
gonna be
you know,
super good
we're
every
just
time.
yeah,
This is like every episode.
yeah, it happens. Pretty much our bodies are trying to put us in survival mode and I just need to slow down.
Yeah, and so we seek out the negative. That's where I was going, right?
Mhm.
Because we're seeking out the bad things because we want to get ahead of the scary things that are going to jump out in the dark, the bumps in the night and things like that. And so we're just programmed to find those things.
Mhm.
And so it's all about reprogramming our minds to find those good positive things that are still there in that situation if
Yeah.
we take a moment to step back and look at the whole picture.
Yeah. Do you guys just see what just happened? Like, like this is, like we said, we are newbies on a spiritual journey. Like, obviously I'm not perfect. Like, I'm still struggling with a lot of the stuff. And you guys just saw how Liz just kind of coached me through all that. And I'm just like, light bulb.
Yeah.
You guys saw it
And
again. Magic in real time again.
but as I'm saying these things, I'm like,
We
gosh,
gotta
I should
take our
probably
own advice.
yeah, for real, because
We gotta
I've
take
been
our
kind of stewing in my own stuff as well.
Yeah.
Things at work are just really slow,
Yeah.
and I don't really operate well in slow. And I'm like, well, if things are going to be slow here, I'll go find something else to do. And
Mhm.
so um, I have to take my own advice and find
Yeah.
those, positive things that are out there. And I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Working on it.
It's
you
all
know?
it's all work in progress,
And
and
I
that's
think
okay.
too, for me, I'm so used to living in a survival mindset that it's hard for to let things be because I really have no complaints. I really don't.
Yeah.
Things are good, you know. Um, and make sure I have everything that I need. I think when I don't do well in the calm, and
Yeah.
so it's finding out how to operate in that space.
Mhm.
So I'm just always used to the hectic and the go go go, and I have conditioned myself to operate very well in that type of environment. And so when things are just chill and copacetic, I'm like having
Yeah.
like it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know how to what do I do with my hands?
Yeah.
um
That's funny because like that's pretty much how it's been since I got here because like I was so used to high op tempo, like go go go. And so when I was kind of excited when I was first told, "Oh yeah, it's a high op tempo here." And then like after a month I'm like, "Where?" Like where is
what
it high op?
tempo?
What tempo? Like I sit and
There's
sit and
no
sit.
heartbeat here.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I definitely understand that. But we just you
But you
gotta
took advantage
learn.
and you enrolled in school and you made it work for you.
Yeah, I'm doing my best, and I keep myself entertained during the day. Like if I'm not doing school work, then I got plenty of movies and TV shows to binge watch while I'm just sitting there.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, such a waste of time. But you know what? It's okay because it's almost done. So you maybe you got your books that you can read while you're sitting
Yeah.
there now. All kinds of stuff. So
Although the topics, I'm like a little bit afraid to like pull that cover out, but that's fine.
get a book cover.
Well, because the title of maybe that's what I should
Yeah,
do.
or
Maybe I'll
take the
make one.
cover of the book off if
No,
it's
it's no, it's like a yeah.
paperback.
No, it's a hardback, but it's
Oh,
like pressed into it doesn't
oh,
have like the outer cover on it.
gotcha.
Again, it's all explainable and it's just about self-care. It's just the fact that the front of the book calls it witchcraft. And
Oh,
so,
yeah.
you
Well,
know,
you can, there's plenty of options. You can either tape over it. You could do like how we used to do when we were in school with the paper bag
yeah,
and make yourself a
exactly.
book cover and then you can draw on it.
Honestly, I feel like, you know what? Fuck that. Um, if you have questions about it, ask me.
Yeah, I mean that too. Like, who cares what everyone else thinks?
Yeah.
Who cares?
So I
People
did
aren't
put it
gonna
in my
judge either
bag.
way.
I just wound up on TikTok instead of reading it. But
Yeah, fucking TikTok. It's a succubus. Sucks you in. I don't know if that was the right word, but it
I
sucks you
think it
in.
is, and I love it.
It is. It's a succubus. It gets me every time. I've been doing actually really good for the most part, except at night. Sometimes it gets me at night, but anyways, it's a succubus. But yeah, I mean, read. Who cares? I got my opinions about like the witchcraft stuff, so but you know what? It's okay, buddy, because it's not for me to judge. Like whatever brings you joy. And who knows? You might learn something from that book and you come back one episode and be like, "Hey, so this is what I learned from my witchcraft book." And I'm going to be like, "Maybe I need to look at this book."
Well, and the term on there is really not even like what you're thinking.
Mhm.
It's really about like, again, self-care, doing like a little like rituals, but like not in a creepy weird way. It's like crystals and
Mhm.
incense and essential oils and just kind of a more holistic kind of thing.
So
So
you're not
again, the
doing like
term,
magic spells like saying
no,
hocus
I'm not
pocus.
drawing pentagrams on the floor and having seances reaching out to the other side. No,
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
doing that.
All right. Well,
Not that I'm
I
judging anybody who
no,
does. It's just not really
not
for me. But
not for me
but
either.
so again, the term is used loosely, and it's really
Gotcha.
just more of like a holistic based thing of taking salt baths and
Yeah.
things like that.
Well, and
So
I know there's that side of witchcraft, like the good side, the I don't know what they call them, the light, I guess.
Wicca,
Wicca.
yeah,
Yeah. So
something
like
like
I
that.
mean, I don't fully understand it. I know a lot of people that do some of that type of stuff, but like I don't understand it and
Well, one of the books I bought, it goes into more of like that herbology side of it, which is something that's kind of interested me.
yeah.
So I'm interested to crack it open. But I want to crack it open and like try it. So
Yeah.
I kind of need to be home to do it. But I love them though because they also the way that they're designed, they look really cute when you leave them out. So
Oh,
they're also kind of
nice.
decorative. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, I
Um
look forward to you telling me about your
yeah,
witchcraft
so I'll let you
books.
know if I get a chance to dig into that a little bit more this weekend.
Yeah.
And yeah, I am not gonna lie that the heaviness was getting me today, and I was like, we need to record a podcast. And I was like, sometimes I worry, that my mindset is going to be not right for this space, but
Yeah.
it's so funny how this um always winds up bringing the best out of
I
me. And
was
I
gonna
think it's
say,
just,
like you can already hear it in your voice how
I
like
know,
the
right?
difference from the beginning up at the episode to now. Like that's what
But
I
it's a perfect case in point, right? Where I think I was just, I won't say stewing in the negative, but I really wasn't focusing on the positive either. So I was
Mhm.
just really in this neutral, splat, blah space, not good, bad, or indifferent, just
Meh.
nothingness, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, meh.
Meh.
Meh is exactly how to. And so this whole podcast, as well, most of it anyway, has been about reframing, and
Mhm.
how you were talking about before about how that negativity changes the molecular structure of our body and all that kind of stuff. And just talking about it and being in that energy of positivity, because that's what this whole thing is focused on, really has like kind of just brought me out of that meh
Yeah.
kind of state.
And I
So,
like and I can feel it too. Like and I'm really curious. I can't wait to like watch this back and just kind of watch because feel like I was kind of feeding on your energy a little bit. And I was kind of like meh.
yes,
And
yes,
then like we just as we started talking, we're both like cheerful and uppity and whatever.
100%.
That's
I do. I
crazy.
felt like it's so funny you mentioned that because I was watching you and you didn't have the same kind of energy that you've had on some of our other episodes. And um, I was like, wow, she's just really kind of like quieter, you know?
Because I'm an empath. for the longest time, and I think we've talked about this for the longest time.
Mhm.
I never
And you're like,
considered
"No, I'm
myself.
not.
I'm
No,
not an
I'm not."
empath. Like, no, I'm
And I'm
not. No,
like,
I'm not. No, yes, I am. 100%. Like, and I think I'm like a really deep empath because, yeah, I can definitely fucking, especially now that like I'm more open to it. Like, I
Mhm.
definitely feel it more. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I definitely was feeling the
Samesies.
energy.
Yep. And so sometimes it's hard to break yourself from that energy that you are uh surrounded by, but it works both ways.
Hmm.
So the more that you exude a different type of energy, the more that others that are around you will start to like pick up
Yeah.
on that as well, or they'll get distracted and wind up going somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting how it works. So, but yeah, it
Yeah.
is. I will be very interested to see how this goes and kind of
Yeah.
have a laugh about it. And I really hope that it has the same effect on all the listeners,
Yeah.
um, because I think that that's the power of
Positive.
positivity.
Hell yeah, I love it. Oh my gosh, that was great. Like I'm so glad that we did this. Like I love this podcast. Like I really do, and I hope you guys are all enjoying it. Make sure you guys check us out on Spotify. I did realize I forgot to put our last episode there, so it is on Spotify now. But make sure you check us out on Spotify, Instagram, TikTok. We have a link tree so you can email us directly if you have any questions, comments, concerns, topics you want to talk about.
And if you want to see our hilarious faces, we're on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the YouTube where you can see our faces. So, yeah, I think that was all of our plugs.
Yeah.
But that was the power of positivity. Do you have anything else to
No.
add to that?
Just remember to find it.
Yeah. You'll find it one way or another, buddies. Like you just watched it all happen again. The magic. I love the magic on this show. But
I know it's great.
yeah. But all
All
right,
right,
buddies.
but
Well,
until next time,
yeah. Bye, buddies.
bye.